sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and can even keep you from getting the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS.
As some of y'all know, I have two boys, Walker the third, who is 19, and Mitchell, who is 16. And one of the cool parts about having these boys and watching them grow up is they're friends. And it's really freaking cool to be around their friends and to watch them grow up too, because I've known a lot of them since they were 0 years old. But I'm starting to have conversations with some of my children's friends about careers. What's it like? You know, who should I be talking to, and what kind of job would be the right thing for me, or what kind of career would be the right thing for me? And you know, a lot of them know that I'm in sales and train salespeople, and they said, you know, tell me, should I go into sales? What does that look like? And so I started thinking about that and have conversations, and you know, people change a lot. Thank goodness I changed a lot from the time I was 18, 19 to the time I was 29 or 39 or, you know, soon to be 59. And I keep growing and learning. But I thought I would share 3 reasons that you should go into sales if you want to. 3 qualities that you have to have, or that I would suggest would make it better. And then a couple of 3 reasons why you should not go into sales. So let's get started. I think one of the main qualities you need to have if you're going to go into sales is the idea that you are a lifelong learner. You are somebody that loves learning new things. Sales is never static, right? And there's constant learning that's necessary. It can be, I think the main thing is learning about other people, learning, you know, in general about other people. So studying psychology, studying what makes people tick, studying what might make somebody motivated to make a change. And also learning about a sales process that continually needs to be honed. Are you somebody who we can count on to continue to learn and to refine a process? And the third thing, you're also going to have to learn, and a lot of people think this is the first, but you're going to have to learn about your product or service. I will tell you, of those 3 things, that's the least important. It's important, but it's the least important of those 3 things is learning about your product and service. But that will continually change. You'll also need to learn about your marketplace, which will continually change, your competitors, that kind of stuff. But if you don't see yourself as a lifetime learner, somebody who enjoys not just reading books, but implementing what it is that you're learning in those books, that you are somebody that likes coaching, and not just in having a rah-rah coach, because that's neat and all, but that doesn't help nearly so much as somebody to help you specifically with what you're dealing with. So reasons to get into sales, you see yourself as a lifelong learner. That's 1. Number 2, you have a good, strong work ethic. You like to work hard and you're consistent, not somebody who's a streak player, but somebody, and maybe this is where, you know, being an athlete is an advantage, where you know that it takes, if you're a runner or you play tennis or football or whatever that is, that you know that it takes work every single day and that you can't take a week or 2 off or just practice when you need to. But you don't mind working, because sales, despite what you may think, is hard as hell. I'm sorry. Doing sales correctly is hard as hell. It takes constant work, constant refinement, constant behavior. The phone calls, the meetings, the emails, the networking, right? It takes constant work. And one of the things I tell people is it never gets easier. What happens, though, is you get better at it. And so that's what I tell people to think about. Don't ask for it to get easier. Ask to get better at it, because it's hard freaking work. And the third reason you might want to get into sales is if you believe in the concept of merit pay. In sales, you are worth exactly the amount of money that you're making, right? You're worth exactly the amount of money that you're making. And so that can come as a real smack in the face to some people who think that they're worth whatever, $1 million a year, and yet they're only producing $30,000 a year in income for themselves. You will be paid exactly what you are worth. And you can make a million excuses about why your company sucks, or the marketplace sucks, or whatever else, but that's the company you're choosing to work for. Those are the products or services you're choosing to sell, and that's the marketplace you're choosing to be in. Right now, you're earning exactly as much money as you are worth. So, and as much money as you see yourself being worth. That's really going to piss some people off. But just take that for what it is, right? You have chosen to be at a place where your job is to generate revenue for that company. And your worth, how about this? Let me refine that. Your worth to that company, your worth to the marketplace is exactly what you're getting paid. Your self-worth is different than that. But your income is exactly what your worth is to the company you work for and to the marketplace that you're in. It can also be bounded by how much you see yourself being worth, but that's a different conversation. Okay, so 3 reasons you should get into sales. 1, if you see yourself as a lifelong learner. Number 2, that you've got a good work ethic and you like to be consistent with your work ethic, to do behavior every single day consistently. And the 3rd is you believe in merit pay, getting paid for what you're worth to your company and your marketplace. Here are some reasons not to get into sales that actually are the reasons a lot of people do get into sales. A bad reason to get into sales, but you'll be encouraged to go into sales if you have lots of friends and can talk to anybody. You should go into sales. You've got 1 million friends and you can talk to anybody. That is a terrible reason to go into sales. You'll be so disappointed. Sales is not about making friends. You already have plenty of friends. Your job in sales, quite frankly, is to go out and talk to people and disqualify those people that aren't ready for you yet. You're going to get a lot of rejection. You're going to spend a lot of time, if you're doing it the right way, asking people questions to learn their opinions, keeping your own damn opinions to yourself, and figuring out that 99 out of 100 people aren't going to buy what it is that you sell. So if you really like people and you really like making friends, you're going to get crushed because very few of the people you're calling on are thinking, gosh, I sure hope this salesperson becomes my friend. Almost never happens. Number 2, a crappy reason to get into sales is because you're looking for a flexible work schedule and lots of freedom. Well, that's really neat. You'll have all the freedom you want because you won't have a freaking job very long. The reason to get into sales is you don't mind working hard. As a matter of fact, you love working hard. And sure, you can have a flexible schedule and have all the freedom you want, and your paycheck will reflect that. If you are serious about a job that feeds your family, you may find yourself working more hours and harder than some of your other friends, right? So the old flexibility thing, that's great if you can just want to be a low or medium producer. But if you want to be a high producer, and out of the old work smarter, not harder, hey, that's neat and all. But if you want to be a high producer, it's going to take hours, it's going to take commitment, and it's going to take work. And there's no escaping that. There's no escaping that if you want to do it consistently. The last reason, well, excuse me, that's not the last. There's another reason you should not go into sales is if you feel like you're a natural. I'm a natural salesperson, right? Because I can talk to anybody. I've got millions of friends. We're going back to number 1. I've got millions of friends. I can talk to anybody, right? What that often means is you talk too damn much. You work really hard at being interesting, not so hard at being interested, which is what's so important in sales is that you are interested, not interesting. Nobody gives a shit how interesting you are. Another, and part of this as well, a natural might see themselves as, I can convince anybody of anything. Good sales is not about convincing. People don't like to be convinced. They like to buy, but they don't like to be sold. Drop your convincing. That should not be part of sales at all. Number 3, I've heard this too. I really like the chase. I just like the chase. Well, shit, if you like the chase, you ain't gonna make any damn money anyway. I want to avoid, if you're good in sales, you want to avoid the chase at all costs. You're getting yeses and you're getting nos. Other than that, you ain't no reason to chase, right? A yes to a next step or a no to a next step. Simple. That ain't no chasing involved. If you're chasing, you're doing it wrong. So let's go one more time. A couple of 3 reasons you should go into sales, and there are lots of them, but here are 3 main ones. 1, you're a lifelong learner. Number 2, you've got a good work ethic and don't mind being consistent. You see that as important. And number 3, you believe in merit pay. A couple of reasons not get into sales, couple or 3. Number 1, you have lots of friends and like making new friends. Number 2 is you're looking for a flexible work schedule and freedom. And number 3, because you're a natural at sales, because you can talk to anybody, you try to convince people, and you like the chase. Keep those in mind when you're interviewing for a sales job. If you're new and headed for a sales job, keep those in mind. The message you want to get across to the person you're interviewing is, I want to learn as much as I can, as fast as I can. I want to work hard, and I want to make a difference around here as fast as I can. Super important. It's a great message. Anybody who's hiring salespeople would love to hear that. Here's the hard part. You got to mean it. I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales. Share this with somebody who needs to hear it. Call me or email me, walker@walkermckay.com, if you want to talk about opportunities. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to No BS Sales School podcast. If you haven't already, please take 1 minute to write a quick review for the show. It really does make a huge difference. Also, subscribe to the show and please forward this episode to somebody else who needs to hear it. As a bonus for listening, I'm going to give you access to a free mini course, 7 expensive sales mistakes you're making and what you can do about it. Go to www.7salesmistakes.com and get access to the free mini course. That's the number 7salesmistakes.com. Thanks again for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast.